Hello, and welcome to NBA Sideline, the show's third episode, where the most up-to-date NBA action is talked about. Hi, I'm the guest host, Matt Guanga, and these are the analysts AJ Valencia and Lorenzo Black. And on tonight's episode, we'll discuss everything from who got snubbed from the All-Star game to Chris Paul making 6th place on the all-time assist list. But first, we'll start off with how the Lakers are doing without Anthony Davis and Dennis Shroeder. So, on today's topic, LeBron is passing to Caruso for the last shot versus Miami. How do you feel about that?
Well, before I start talking, let's have the man here next to you say what he wants to say first.
Well, thank you, AJ. You're far so kind.
Yes, I'm very kind.
Now, to be honest with you, that loss and the way the Lakers lost that game really bothered me because LeBron James is the most athletic player perhaps in the league, and I think he can handle a double team and create his own shot. And I'd rather take that play over him passing to a Caruso three-pointer. So how do you feel about that, AJ?
A Caruso three-pointer? Well, I gotta tell you, LeBron has been an elite three-point shooter the past few seasons, but I think that's not really his specialty. I mean, I'm a LeBron fan, but he's not Steph Curry. And Alex Caruso, I think he focuses more on his three-point shot. Yes, he missed a shot, and we've seen LeBron pass to other players over the past few seasons, for the last second shots. Just like, when he let Kyrie Irving take the shot on the Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, he trusted his teammates. So he has trust in Caruso. And Caruso let him down, yes, I understand.
And I totally get the trusting your teammate thing, you know what I mean? But with the, LeBron, that's a moment where you're expected to make like an excellent play. Like he made the right play by passing it to Caruso, but that was the time to make an excellent play. And that's when he should have been self-centered and take his own shot. And I feel like that's what distinguishes him from Michael Jordan or even Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant once said to his team in the team locker room, I'd rather myself shoot a shot when being triple teamed and than pass it to one of you guys for an open shot. The percentage is higher.
You're right. But you have to take into account that he had to pass to Caruso because most of his other star player teammates are out.
Yeah, that's true.
Anthony Davis is out. Dennis Schroeder's out. Marc Gasol is, his ass. Yes, I know it's PG-13, whatever you want to call it, but yes. So he had no choice but to pass it to Caruso. All right, and with the Kobe thing, Kobe is a way better three-point shooter than LeBron. So of course he would take it because he knows it's a higher percentage it's going to go in. Saying, well, LeBron is a better three-point shooter than Jordan, but Kobe's a better three-point shooter than LeBron. But Jordan's a better mid-range shooter than LeBron. So if it's a you have a point.
So you're saying Kobe was a better three-point shooter than LeBron?
Yes.
Now, how do you think Kobe was a better three-point shooter than Jordan?
Yes.
Yes.
Jordan perfected the mid-range game, so
right.
That's why we see him a lot of game-winning mid-range shots back in the day. Because he makes those mid-range shots, but you don't see him taking three-point shots late game. He would pass to Steve Kerr or Tony Kukoc or whatever. All right, well, I guess
on to the next topic.
Yes, on to the next topic.
So, which team would you like to see receive Zach LaVine?
AJ, you take this one.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Zach LaVine. He's a pure scorer, and a lot of teams really need a pure scoring guy in their team. So I think, with Anthony Davis out, I think the Lakers. I don't know if it's possible, but the Lakers might want to maybe try to deal Caruso and Kuzma for Zach LaVine. Maybe it might work for a third scorer because Zach LaVine just made an all-star team this season.
So you're thinking Lakers?
Yes, Lakers, because they need him the most. They lost like so many games in a row, and LeBron will need more help because of injuries.
That should be very interesting if that happens, especially if AD doesn't come back.
Yes.
The team that I'd like to see him go with would be Denver Nuggets. And I heard that there might be possibility with that. LaVine for forget what player they're talking about. Harris, maybe? Or
Gary Harris.
yeah, Gary Harris,
Harris.
and for some top round picks.
Oh.
And if I'm Denver, I would do that, because then you raised your team to be up another level with one of the better backcourts.
Yes, but
him and Murray.
But it actually depends, because if you're only going to trade Gary Harris and a couple first-round picks, I don't think that's still enough, because Zach LaVine's a top-level player.
Doesn't match his value.
Yeah, doesn't match his value. Yes, Gary Harris is a better defender, but I'm gonna be honest, his scoring dip. It dipped like how Titanic dipped when it sank down. So he's not really that good. If it wasn't for his defense, he'll probably be out of the league. And I'm being honest with y'all. So yeah, I mean that's what I think. But Zach LaVine, for sure, the Nuggets. I mean that sounds good. Jokic will have more help, and Murray would have more help definitely.
I just feel like he's worthy of the trade, to better his career.
Yeah, better team, right?
Better team. I think he deserves that, a better team. But I also think that his situation in Chicago has proven that you can't build a team around him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
And I think that's the lesson you can learn from that.
I think he's more of a system player, kind of like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Because Zach LaVine isn't the kind of a LeBron or a Kobe kind of guy where, hey, I'm the best player on this team. You all have to follow me. I'm going to be the leader. Because Zach LaVine, sometimes I see him take a lot of questionable shots. Like, yeah, they go in, but they're like too many people, defending him, and he would just chuck up a random Kobe shot.
They're questionable, but I guarantee you he practices them.
Yes.
And he's skilled at them, I bet. You know what I mean? But yeah, shot selection is probably something to question about him.
Yeah, you're right. Also, his teammates, they're not really that good. They're doing terrible right now. The Bulls, they're just, the most polite way I can say, they're trash.
I
don't know how.
The only player I can think of is the White,
Kobe White.
Kobe White.
With his hat, bro.
Yeah. Who else do they have?
Oh, they have a Lauri Markkanen from Switzerland. He's Switzerland. The tall European dude. But he's inconsistent. And he should put on more muscle. He's too skinny. He shoots too much 3 points for his height. He should be banging down low. Yeah. So that's
see.
the next topic. Let's go.
Who do you think is leading the MVP race right now?
Go ahead, my man Lorenzo.
I'm still sticking with my man Jokic with Denver. I think we have seen him do certain things that we haven't seen in the history of the game. As far as a center leading the league with assists, I mean he's really portraying his talents in all dimensions, and I really like that pick for MVP this year.
I've got to tell you, I got to agree with you because I like Jokic's game. He's a big man. He can rebound. That's one of his specialties. Now, he can also pass like Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
He has like eyes behind his back, and he can score whenever he wants.
It's unreal.
He can do anything, but he just needs to improve a little bit in the defense. But he's phenomenal on the offense. I agree with you. He's averaging higher statistics this season, so I think he should be the MVP because without him, the Nuggets are like bottom of the ground right now.
But it also shows that he's in a situation where everything is positive. Like a coach is building the team around him, doing the offense through him on like every possession, and he's just he's excelling with that role.
Yes, you're right. But you have to take into account that they didn't add any major offseason additions to their team.
Very true.
They lost big man backup Mason Plumlee. They lost Jeremy Grant, who was a good scorer.
Now you know how I feel about Plumlee.
Yes. And what else? Oh, they lost Torrey Craig. He could also a 3-point shooter. And who did they gain? And they're like.
All these other teams are making big time trades, and I guess they had faith in what they had at that time.
Yeah. So Nuggets and the Mavericks, I gotta say, they're like in the same situation. They didn't add anything in the off season, and now you think they're getting worse, but I think they're trying hard.
I think they're getting better.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say they're getting better.
Yeah.
And
speaking of doing better, the next topic. What is the next topic? Is it better?
What else you got, Matt?
Was it a right move for Minnesota to fire the head coach Ryan Saunders?
Good, AJ.
I don't really watch a lot of Timberwolves games, but Ryan Saunders, he's a very young guy. He's probably one of the youngest NBA coaches ever, and I believe his dad was a coach before, which is he's an average coach. But Ryan Saunders, given the talent around him, he didn't really have a lot of people to work with. He had D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. Other than that, you have a washed-up Ricky Rubio and a bunch of no-namer nobodies that nobody knows, or unless you're a Timberwolves fan, nobody cares about. So yeah. What do you think, Lorenzo?
Well, I think this program organization, they need help.
Yeah.
But I heard that D'Lo Russell, he came out and said, cut Saunders some slack because the COVID, the bubble,
Yes.
and I think Karl Anthony Towns was out for games. So when I heard that coming out of the point guard, it makes me think that this guy should have more of an opportunity. So I do think he should have stuck around for a little bit longer.
Well, yes, he could have gotten more opportunity, but Timberwolves are like the worst team in the West.
Yeah.
So
if you're not winning games, you
have a lot, and they have a bad bench actually. Other than Towns, Rubio, Edwards, and occasionally Russell, they're like a team of I don't want to say they're garbage.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. A coach isn't going to save that team.
Yeah.
You need players, and they don't have it. Anthony Edwards is a great rookie.
Yes.
But they have no superstar on the team. Karl Anthony Towns, he's not
injury prone. He's
injury prone. And is he an all-star?
Not this season.
Not this season.
Due to injuries.
But maybe he might be capable of becoming one. But they don't have any superstars, so.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan Saunders is not Greg Pop, so it's not like he's going to turn like a bunch of bench warmers into a starter player caliber. So yeah, I mean, speaking of, what is the next topic? Is it our main topic yet?
Let's see who got snubbed from the All-Star list.
Well, that's a tough
Oh,
one.
so that's our main topic for tonight.
We were looking forward to that one.
Ooh, looking forward to that one. So how many players do you think got snubbed? I mean, for me, a couple. I mean, for you.
I think a couple too.
All right, name yours.
I would say maybe 2 or 3. Let's see. I definitely feel like Brandon Ingram was worthy of being an All-Star, and we all know Devin Booker.
He replaced Anthony Davis.
Yeah, and so he was, he originally got snubbed.
Yes.
Who else is there that you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. Brandon Ingram got snubbed. They should have put Brandon Ingram instead of Zion.
Yes.
Zion only got in because of the hype. I think if you're gonna put Luka in there, you gotta put Trey because they're from the same draft class. They're putting up almost the same amount of numbers. You gotta put Trae Young, and you gotta put Domantas Sabonis because he is the only focal point of the offense on the Pacers. He's a big man who can score in the inside whenever he wants. He's hardworking. He can pass. Ever since they lost Victor Oladipo, he stepped up, and he got snubbed major big time. What else he got snubbed? I don't know. I've seen a lot of people saying that John Morant, Russell Westbrook got snubbed, but I
don't agree with those. Do you?
I mean, some people were saying, but me, not really, because when you look at their stats, Westbrook is barely averaging 20 points per game. They have a losing record.
Yeah.
Morant is averaging the same amount he was averaging last season. So, and he was injured for a lot of games.
So you feel like Zion, he's not ready for the All-Star list this year, and I agree with you.
Yes.
But I'm curious to know, how do you think Zion's doing with the hype around him? Do you think he's living up to it?
I think he's living up to it just a little bit, just not too much. Not like the LeBron hype when he first went to the NBA.
it should be interesting if he develops more skill, like such as a jump shot, or then I would give him much more respect if we see that out of him. You know.
Also, I've got to tell you, people who shouldn't have made the All-Star list. I think Chris Paul. I mean, yes, he is the reason why the Suns are on 4th place, but Devin Booker is their main scorer right now. Chris Paul is washed up, getting washed up, and I don't know. I don't think Ben Simmons should have been in there. Jaylen Brown shouldn't have been in there.
You know, maybe politics played a big role this year.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Chris Paul, he's head of the NBA players?
NBPA.
Yeah, so I mean, to me it doesn't make sense. Devin Booker is clearly the best player on that team, and yet, he's Chris Paul's in there. So that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
But and that's taken nothing away from Chris Paul, because he is one of the better point guards out there. So.
Yeah, so I think those are who shouldn't have made in there, like Ben Simmons.
Oh yeah, Ben Simmons.
Jaylen Brown, Chris Paul, Zion.
What do you think about Tobias Harris? Do you think he got snubbed? He's getting paid pretty good.
He's getting paid a really big amount of salary, but he's playing well this season. I think when Embiid is out, he's stepping up to the games.
All-star level though.
Yeah, all-star level.
You do think so?
Yeah, all-star
okay.
level. So he's in that level right now. One more person who I think got snubbed for the All-Star game, Gordon Hayward. I mean, it's not really a major snub, but Hornets are doing better this season than last season, and Gordon Hayward, he's coming back to his form.
I can definitely understand when someone says Hayward got snubbed, but I don't agree with it. But I do think he deserves a lot more respect than what he gets.
Yes, because LaMelo Ball has been getting all the attention from the Hornets. Yeah, he gets flashy plays, but that's like maybe 1 out of like 10.
So I would say it's questionable about him being snubbed.
All right, now speaking of Chris Paul, we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
What's the next topic?
So, how Chris Paul moves up to the 6th on the all-time assist list. So do you think, is he better passer than Magic Johnson, Mark Jackson, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, or John Stockton?
I think him moving up to 6 all time is, which is incredibly great. Chris Paul has longevity, just like LeBron.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yes, but there's a difference between passer and assist man. Assist man, you just dish out, kind of like Stockton. He's not flashy. Now I'm talking about passing. He's not a better passer than Magic Johnson or Steve Nash or Jason Kidd. Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, and Magic Johnson, they define like what it means to have like those flashy passes. Between the legs pass, those, like those behind the back pass, all that stuff. So I mean, it is phenomenal, like statistical wise, But when it comes to like flashy wise, he's not a better passer than them. Yeah, he can do scoring and passing better. Like he can mix them both better, but I don't think he's a way better passer than Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, and Magic Johnson. Mark Jackson and John Stockton, yeah, he's a better passer, or he could be like the same level as them. What about you? What do you think?
So Matt, you raised a really good question. I like this one. Let's see. I mean, 6th place on the all-time assist list. I guess that is a good accomplishment.
Yes.
And when I look through this list, was he a better passer than Magic Johnson? Possibly. I mean, Magic Johnson was more creative. He liked to put more flair into his game with behind the back passes and no looks. And let's see. When I look through the list, I see the difference in those guards. Chris Paul is not a pass first player. Mark Jackson was. Jason Kidd was. Even John Stockton was a pass first player.
Steve Nash too.
And Steve, you could argue Steve Nash too. And when I watch Chris Paul play, I just think he's a playmaker, which is very complimentary of the guy, you know?
I mean, he can do both at will.
Yeah,
Score,
exactly.
He's a good 3-point shooter. I'll give him that.
Very good 3-point shooter.
All right, so now you think Jamal Murray dropped 50 points without a single free throw. How impressive is that?
I gotta tell you, it is impressive. Without a single free throw, you know, that's like the opposite of James Harden. Because James Harden would probably get 50 points on like all free throws, just flopping, you know, flopping. Now, Jamal Murray dropped 50 points on a single free throw, just 2-pointers, you know, layups, pull-up jump shots, 3-point shots. You know, that takes a lot of skill. And, you know, a lot of teams know Jamal Murray as a pure scorer. So they're going to double or triple team him, which they tried doing, and it did not work because he still dropped 50 on your heads. Yes, so I think that's very impressive. You know, that's beyond impressive. Okay, I am very impressed. 50 points just shooting layups, you know, all that offensive game without involving, you know, flopping or drawing fouls. You know, that's skill. That's very skill.
Well, I gotta tell you, Matt and AJ, I really don't know what to make out of this. I mean, I don't know if it's impressive or not, because what's the message there? He made 50 points without getting fouled. Was the defense, were they playing good defense? Were they, you know, like I don't know how I feel about this one. If he were to get fouled, would he have ended up with more points? I mean, what do you think?
Well, he just had better shot selection. So, you know, if you have bad shot selection, you know, sometimes you're going to try to draw a foul because you can't get a better view of the rim, you know. So he had a better shot selection. You know, he probably was getting open. You know, his teammates setting him up in the right spots.
So in that regard, I would have to give him much props.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not like, and it's NBA players defending him. It's not like it's some junior high level player defending him.
But to play devil's advocate, like it's a big it's a skill set to get to the foul line. You know what I mean? To draw fouls, to penetrate, get people in foul trouble.
Yeah, it's a skill, but like, you know, you can try to play smart and fake them and try to draw the foul, but sometimes you flop and you get like the referee's attention. You know, just like Marcus Smart. You know, I don't respect the guy. That guy that guy's like a fish out of a pond. He flails around. You know. Yeah. So for Jamal Murray to do that, like what you said, I mean, yeah, the defense couldn't have been 100% that night, but you know, you still got to give him credit because that's a lot of points. Do not shoot a single free throw.
It is. Totally is. Yeah. What else you got, Matt?
All right, Kendrick Perkins said Siakam is more skilled than Giannis. Do you agree with that, and why?
You know, it's interesting to hear this statement out of a big man himself, and I see where he's going with this. I mean, I think Giannis.
Yo, let me cut you off. Big man himself, yes. You cannot compare Kendrick Perkins to Pascal Siakam and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
No, I didn't say that though. I didn't say that.
Yes, the big man, but he's what do you call this? Like, he's mostly a defensive big man. Even so, he did not get a lot of blocks during his career. You know, Kendrick Perkins, you know, sometimes he can be wrong in analyzing stuff. I don't know what he's talking about. Like, you know, sometimes I don't know what he's talking about, but I think he has a good point here. The question is asking. But
you would also have to understand the context.
Yes.
Like, you would have to have more info with that statement.
Yeah.
But
it's still like how.
With me trying to figure this one out, I think he's trying to say is Giannis has a lot of room for improvement.
Yes.
And there's a lot of dimensions to his game
Yes.
where he needs to improve.
Yes.
And I don't know, how do you feel about Siakam?
Well, Siakam is a better shooter than Giannis, no doubt. You know, he can shoot the 3-point ball occasionally. He can play in the inside. Now, his defense is, I would say, average. Giannis had a way far superior defense than Siakam. And he's a better playmaker than Siakam.
What I would have found more
Better rebound.
interesting if he was to compare Adebayo
Yes.
with Giannis.
Yes.
I would like to hear that argument.
Yeah, that's a better argument. Now, Kendrick Perkins probably does not watch a lot of basketball during this time, because why would you compare two different players? Siakam is a back-to-basket kind of player. He would post you up. You know, he's not going to do flashy plays on you like Giannis would. You know, coasting from one end to the other, dunking on everybody. You know, that I'd say they're both skilled, just in different.
After hearing this statement from Perkins, it does make me think that Siakam is underrated, though.
Yes, he is underrated.
You know?
Definitely. I mean, Kyle Lowry is aging now, and Pascal Siakam is becoming the face of the Raptors franchise.
Which, by the way, I heard trade rumors with Lowry, him wanting to go to the Sixers.
Yes, that's what I heard, because he's from Philadelphia originally.
Yeah, he is from Philly, yeah.
Well, if that does happen, then we will see how good really Siakam is without Lowry on his side.
I'll tell you what, if he gets to the Sixers, I think they would win the championship.
Yes, but Lowry would have to come off the bench for Ben Simmons, because Ben Simmons is a better playmaker. Lowry's a better shooter, unless Lowry wants to play shooting guard, but he's too small for a shooting guard.
Or you could do a Steve Kerr and not give them defined positions,
Right.
and just let them be 5 playmakers out there.
Right.
But that's to assuming he gets traded.
Assuming that he does, Seth Curry will have to come off the bench, or Danny Green, because you cannot have Kyle Lowry and Seth Curry, you know, in the same starting lineup. That's too small of a lineup, very small of a lineup. And then you have Ben Simmons as your point guard. So speaking back to the Siakam topic, I think he and Giannis are both equally skilled. You know, different types of players. Giannis better defender, better passer. Siakam is a better shooter.
Who do you think has better ball handling skills? Because I see Giannis starting to do crossovers now. And,
Yeah, but I'm still not sold on Giannis
spin moves
ball
too.
handling. Yeah, he's not KD. KD is
Yeah,
a better
yeah.
ball handler.
Yeah.
I think Giannis and Siakam are both the same when it comes to ball handling. They're like average, a little bit below average, you know. But Giannis is a better passer. That's what I give him credit for. Siakam is a better shooter. So yeah, I mean, that's where it is. And yep.
And that's this week's episode of the NBA Sideline, brought to you by our sponsor, Mary Buckley, Nevada's top real estate agent. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Spotify or iHeartRadio, and watch the full episode on our NBA Sideline YouTube channel. Be sure to add us on Instagram at NBA Sideline Official to join the conversation. And if you'd like to reach out to us to discuss more topics, make sure to email nbasidelineofficial@gmail.com. Don't forget to join us next week for another key episode. Thank you for guys listening.